Welcome back to another segment of Behind the Scenes of the Waltons. Today I'm going to be concluding my conversation with Deirdre Lenihan, who played Daisy Garner. Please welcome back, Deirdre. Now, is your daughter Samantha, is she currently, she's still currently on ER or?
Well, ER is now, Nora Wiley is doing the Pit, which is the Pittsburgh hospital.
Okay.
And it is very much like ER. Samantha has a leading role in it, but not part of the company.
Okay.
Guest star.
She's the guest star. I'm losing all of my words. And it sounds like a very, very interesting show because I don't think it's a secret. It may be a secret. No.
We won't share any secrets we're not supposed to.
Well, no, I think on the trailer it does say that. The entire show takes place in one day.
Oh.
So
like 24.
and it has so many moving parts that Samantha had this wonderful, juicy role, but she had to appear someplace in the hospital on most of the days where she didn't do anything but cross, getting coffee and whatever a person who was taking care of someone would do. So she's just finished that. I think the show is done.
They're still filming. They filmed in February.
Okay. When will it be out?
Well,
When will it go live?
25. She's looking.
25. Okay. Great. Did that, having all these sort of creative types around the house, do you feel like there was a different sort of dynamic around your house than there might have been if it was, more 9-to-5 jobs happening?
Oh, well, definitely. Because Papa was there a lot in between shows. And so he got to be the soccer coach. And I got one day of soccer coaching where it was raining. And I said to the girls, I'd rather be shopping. They all got together and said, we would too. So I was a terrible coach, but Jimmy was a wonderful coach. Very helpful. And we did drag them to every play that was playing in California. We went to San Diego to see George C. Scott's son, Campbell Scott, in Hamlet. Everything that was in a house with less than 99 seats, we went to see. Lots of Shakespeare, which Jimmy and I grew up on.
Did you get out to Will Geer's Theater in Topanga?
Yes, of course. The Theatrical Botanicum. It's really a go-to place. And you've been there.
It's such a fabulous setting.
And they've redone the seats. It's very comfortable now. The only thing scary is getting in and out of Topanga Canyon. It's kind of a death sport.
It's quite a canyon, yeah. Well, how did you feel about your children pursuing the arts, having had your experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly of being in show business and pursuing work, and the highs, the lows, the year of not working? How did you feel as a parent going, oh, they want to pursue the arts?
I guess I felt that they were going to be successful. I didn't expect any stardom, but I expected longevity because of the energy and the intelligence they brought to it. My father was an actor for a while in New York. And I grew up at the Shakespeare Festival, when in all of its forms, from the East Side to following schools to bus and truck, and it was all. It was part of my life, so I grew up with it. And I figured, of course, that's what they're going to be doing.
Well, what are sort of in your career, what would you say were some of the standout projects, roles you did?
Well, beside the Waltons, because I really did feel that that was a high point, and because the character lived for so long and had an arc. I had a few scenes, guest star scenes in Streets of San Francisco and Policewoman, where I was the right age to play the right role. I wasn't playing younger because I looked young for a very long time. And it was scenes that would last 3 or 4 minutes. The camera would just follow 2 people around. And I really felt that this could be something wonderful. Guest stars were always given some really interesting parts in those days. I know now, if you're not part of the company, the scenes are abbreviated, perhaps not as interesting to follow. So I did have a few moments where I said, this is it. This is what I studied at the neighborhood playhouse for. I did all those exercises. But they were few and far between. For the most part, I was the girlfriend, the victim, often the wife. That was a lot. There was a lot of that going around now, unlike today with the wonderful cable shows.
And beyond acting, what are sort of your real interests and passions?
Well, in my early 60s, I went back to get a master's degree at Mount St. Mary's University here in Los Angeles. And it was a master's degree in humanities, which is now hard to find these days. I met some wonderful people that I'm still having lunch with. And we pursued, well, in our case, we pursued literature. And that has stuck with me because I've read all my life, but to read, in order to read, and to understand not the storyline so much as watching something take place through a book, was very revelatory to me. So I'm always reading now. I have a lot of time. Then I started to write myself, and I stayed with that for a couple of years. And I guess that arc was over, and I took up painting. It's sounding very dilettantish, but
sounds like an artist exploring different outlets for your creativity.
Well, thank you. You're putting it in a very nice light, and I did. I worked very hard with the painting. It wasn't work; it was just wonderfully fulfilling. And I'm still doing a little of that now.
Is anything behind you on the wall yours?
Well, this is one of my early ones.
I can just see part of it in the colors. My eye kept going to the colors because they're so bright and vibrant. And yeah.
It was a life class where a model would do 3 minutes and then turn and do another 3 minutes. And so it was very fast. It was one of my first classes. And, well, I've studied for 20 years now. I'm a student, obviously. I think I've gotten better, but my daughter is a fan.
Well, clearly she has great taste because she's your daughter. I think that's great. Those are to me the things that we engage in that keep us alive and interested in life is, I think, what keeps us sharp and motivated and engaged in life. And I think those are important, that, to continue to be learning and growing as a person in whatever direction that takes you. So good for you. Yeah. I mean, you look fabulous. I've always felt that you had a very bright and youthful sort of energy to you. And you still do. I mean, you still look beautiful. You still have a youthful energy and vitality to you. So you're doing something right.
Well, I've had a lot of good company.
Well, that's great. That's great. Are there any particular anecdotes that you remember that you'd like to share, or any particular things with the viewers, things that stood out, special moments?
My connection with Michael Leonard was so wonderful. She and I kind of lost the script. We were having a discussion, and she was asking me something, the character, but was I serious? And I think that her asking me that got Daisy to wonder and to answer in seriousness. That was a little moment we had. And then delightful every time I worked with Richard. We always had something to say to each other.
Yeah.
Watching you on that set, you were very young, and it was delightful that young people could be so serious about making it work.
It was a great environment, and it was a great group of people. I think we were incredibly fortunate to have that group. And for the younger cast, we were too young to recognize how special it was, because we didn't have enough prior experience to compare it to. I mean, I had done theater from the time I was a child, and that had been a great experience. So my early experiences had been very positive. It was a good environment in which to sort of test out things and even go through what is typically the awkward ages as a young performer, where, fortunately it was a show that allowed us to age, as opposed to, having to continue to play teenagers well past the point that we were, or something. So it took us all through those awkward years, and going through the transition from it's enough to just have good instincts as an actor, as a child, to now more is being expected of you because you are now an adult. And so the depth of your work needs to start growing. That was a really difficult period for me. It kind of started in the Waltons and went on for some years afterwards as I tried one class after another class after another class, trying to find that what sort of process worked for me as an actor, So that was not such fun.
No, but it worked out.
Yeah, eventually, And I just spent a lot of years going, I hope nobody catches on that I have no idea what I'm doing.
I think that's part of being an actor. I think because it's not edible. You can't touch it. Whatever is whatever kind of Samantha would probably come up with this better. There's no science involved.
And there's not only one way to get there. And it's so subjective.
That is the whole world of art.
Yeah.
Every aspect of it.
Yeah. It's endlessly challenging and fascinating, So it's I think if you are an artist, you're always an artist in some capacity.
I guess we're always a part of the club.
Yeah.
Whether we admit it or not. Yeah.
I really do thank you for for coming and being a part of this. It has really been so great to have this time together once more.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you for joining me for this final segment of my conversation with Deirdre. It has been so wonderful to catch up with her again. I will be back with more behind the scenes of the Waltons and more Ask Judy. Thanks for watching.